What's up, guys? Welcome back to the boat cabin. We are on a beautiful lake in the Chippewa National Forest in northern Minnesota. If you're new here, this is a cabin that I built on top of a 16-foot fishing boat. It's got everything that we need to brave the elements out here on the water. And so, for example, we've got screens that we can put on the windows, the front and the back for bugs. We've also got ways to fully enclose this if we're experiencing some rain. We've got a couch over here for hanging out and sleeping, and a bunch of other creature comforts that enhance the experience out here. I've never really explained how I built this cabin, so I'm gonna do that at the end of the video. So if you're interested in kind of knowing how I put this together, make sure to stay tuned to the end. All right, so I'm gonna start off just going for some panfish. The setup that I have on this pole is really only suited for that. The line is just way too thin to catch anything big, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna try. Oh man, check out the trumpeter swans over there. It's like a whole family. I've never seen that before. I've only seen like two together. That is really cool. It's pretty shallow here, you guys. I'm getting snagged on tons of weeds, and I'm not really seeing much action out there. I do like that there are lily pads all around us. That's good cover for the fish, but I think we need to get somewhere a little bit deeper. I'm definitely a new fisherman, so let me know in a comment what you would do right here. But I think I should probably move to somewhere with more depth. I've never actually seen any other boats on any of the lakes that I've taken this thing on. So hitting waves like that is kind of funny. Take a look at this tiny little island here. I don't think there are any formal campsites on it, but the beauty of the boat cabin is that we could tie up there no problem. So if these other sites are taken, that might be a good option. Okay, so here it is. Here's the first campsite. There are two more out here, but I don't know, I feel like we might as well stop at that one for now. All right, so we are at a boat-in dispersed campsite, and what that means is this is a camp that is only accessible from the water. It is extremely rustic and primitive, but it's free and it's first come, first serve. I personally prefer dispersed camping because of the solitude that it brings. You know, you don't have other people around you, so you're able to sort of let your guard down and really sink into the place that you're in. Oh wow, so it appears that we've got another campsite over here. So these two are connected. Same kind of deal, you've got your fire pit there, picnic table, spots for tents all through here. And then of course, you got your lake access as well. Not much for lunch today. But it's hitting the spot. I'm gonna be making some burgers tonight, so we're gonna have a proper meal, and so is Ellie. We've been feeding Ellie food from the farmer's dog for a few months now. The only times when we aren't able to feed it to her is when we're off grid for more than a week and can't store the food properly. The farmer's dog is real, fresh, healthy food that's made in human-grade kitchens to preserve nutritional value, because we know that eating processed food for every meal isn't good for you, so why would we assume that it is for dogs? Since she's been on the farmer's dog, I've noticed that Ellie has had a lot more consistent energy in her old age, and she's also lost a little bit of weight as well. They make personalized meals for your dog, so all I had to do was tell them a little bit about Ellie, and they send pre-portioned meals straight to our front door. And they can do so for as little as $2 a day. It's super easy and convenient. All I have to do is open the package, pour half into her bowl in the morning, and then save the other half for at night. So if you want to try the farmer's dog for your best friend, all you have to do is follow the link in the description of this video, and you'll receive 50% off your first box of real fresh food. And they're also going to give you free shipping with that as well, so it's definitely worth a try. You guys know that Ellie isn't just our dog, she's a member of the family, and so that's why we're extremely grateful to Farmer's Dog for helping her to become healthier on a daily basis. Take a look at this little island right here. There's all these downed trees in the weed line. This looks like a good spot to maybe catch some fish. What do you guys think? I'm gonna go for it. Got one. That is one tiny little sunfish right there. We're tossing them back. That one. The little guy. Got one. All right. This one's a little bigger. Still not huge, but it's progress. Got one. Another. Well, guys, I think I've had enough of catching little sunnies. Well, this fire is still smoldering, which obviously means people were here not that long ago, but there's no tent set up, there's no boat out front. I think this is gonna be home. So take a look, we're right here at this campsite, but if we hike along this trail here, we can head over to Little Long Lake, which is right there, and it has a camp as well. But check it out, if you go this way, you go by Upper Spring Lake and Lower Spring Lake, and you reach Trout Lake. And from there, you can hike up to a campsite there as well. So let's go check one of these out, and then we'll come back and make some dinner. This way, Al. Yeah. Good girl. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Very good girl. Okay, so this makes sense now. So these trails that we're following are portages between these lakes for people on canoe trips. And a portage is simply where you have to pick up your canoe and all of your gear and move it to the next lake to continue your journey. That's why they have all these campsites, and that's why they have these trails that link all of these different lakes. Wow, I haven't had a hamburger like this in a long time. This is gonna be bomb. So as you can see, we've got a big patty in there with cheese, onions, tomato, green peppers, and mustard. Just absolutely classic. This is easily my favorite part about taking out this boat cabin. It's being able to sit up here, watching the sun just fade away. It's incredibly still and so peaceful. Good morning. It's very early. It's like 5:30 a.m. right now. We're up this early because I got to get back home. So we're gonna pack out of here quick. But before we do, let's have some coffee. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this thing home and then I will run through how I built it. All right, so I got the boat back to where I store it, and I'm gonna briefly run through how I built this thing. So the basic of it here is that I took what's, an average 16-foot fishing or duck boat, and I built this shell and placed it on top of it. I used, I guess it's like a fiberglass plastic material for the exterior shell of the cabin. This is the type of thing that you would find in like public bathrooms, like on the walls potentially, or in kitchens. Now, as you take a look here, I have these clear vinyl windows that Velcro up here on the inside of the frame. These are here again for when you're experiencing inclement weather, rain, all of that, but I also use it for storing this boat. And then on the back, I had a custom made canvas tarp that also has Velcro, which Velcros on from the inside or from the outside. Now, you may be wondering about the beams here because you didn't see those in the video while I was cruising around on the lake. Well, I made these, and I use wing nuts and bolts to attach them when I am driving. Now, the reason for that is to maintain the structural integrity of the cabin. And they're really easy to add when I leave, and that makes it so that this thing is completely sound structurally when we're driving down the highway. So as you can see, we've got our two windshields here on removable hinges. When I take these windshields off, it makes it so that this thing is so much easier to tow down the highway because it allows for the air to pass right through the cabin. For a little extra safety driving down the highway, I have straps not only on the back there to keep it on the trailer, but also in front of the cabin frame, and that leaves it completely solid driving down the road. This thing's not going anywhere. And then I do have a safety strap here in the front as well. Well, it's raining a lot more now, so what do you say we go inside the boat cabin, get out of the rain, and I'll show you a little bit more of how I put this thing together. So as you can see, we are completely out of the elements inside. And it's so nice, and storing it like this is so nice too because it just keeps everything nice and protected. So the first thing I did as part of the build was I removed the middle bench here. And the reason for that was I wanted to have this long walkway here next to the couch slash bed to really give us space and to have a little aisle for Ellie especially to be able to move around a little bit in here. Well, I actually then took that bench and I used it for the base of our couch. So that was able to be reused here, and it works great. It makes this platform completely stable and secure. And then I just bolted a nice piece of plywood on top and then painted it. Then I added this really nice board over here to allow us to have some storage. That's where I keep everything, you know. We keep our power station right there. I keep my luggage. Everything goes right there. So that's really a crucial space to have in here. So next it was time to start framing out the boat. And before I did this, I really worked on the calculations to see how low I could realistically make the ceiling, because I didn't want it to be top heavy. And but I also wanted to be able to be comfortable moving around in here. I didn't want to feel like we're claustrophobic. And so what I came up with were these measurements. As you can see, this allows significant space to be able to exit the boat from the bow. And then it slants back to have plenty of headroom for hanging out back here, and you can sneak out the back. And that was crucial for two reasons. One, for comfort, but also safety. I wanted this boat to have as many safety exits as possible. This part down here is just a basic box. You know, I've got it framed out like so. And then I built the beams on the front to the height that I wanted them, built the ones on the back to the height that I wanted them, and then fit in the braces for our windows according to those measurements. And then for the roof, I went with a plastic roofing material, very lightweight. It's the same roofing that I have on our bike camper. So it worked well there, so I figured it would work well here too. I use self-tapping screws to secure this to the frame, real heavy duty ones. I put 1, 2, 3, 4 of them per side, and that has done a really great job. I've now driven this thing about 32 hours on the highway. It tows great. I've done it in a rainstorm, I've done it in high winds, I've done it in no wind at all, and it holds solid. As you can see, I put down a piece of plywood with this marine grade carpeting, and what's great about this is it sits on top of these grooves which have holes drilled through the middle. So if we do get water, like we are right now from the rain, it will actually run down underneath our carpeting here. So we're never walking on a wet floor, and more importantly, Ellie's never sleeping on a wet floor. One important detail here for Minnesota is that I needed to seal all of the cracks to make sure no bugs get inside the cabin. I actually bought a cheap pool noodle and cut out the little pieces and wedged them into those cracks up there, and then secured them with silicone. And that has done a great job so far. I added the same type of material as the walls here to fill in these gaps here with the frame, as well as this gap down here, as well as underneath. And I still have a hole there that allows the water to come through, but I can plug that up if I want to, if the bugs are coming in for some reason, but so far that has not really been the case. And then it may not be pretty, but I sealed everything off with either silicone or spray foam. So that's that, you guys. As you can see, it's a very simple project, very inexpensive. The boat actually I got on Facebook Marketplace for $400, and it came with the motor. So I would say the entire build probably cost around $600 to $650. So really not much money, especially for the experience that we have out there. It is truly unique. But otherwise, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for coming along. I actually crashed my drone on this shoot, so that's why you didn't see any drone footage. So I'm gonna have to get a new one. That was a bummer, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how I built the boat cabin. I'm gonna take off, and we'll see you next week for another adventure. God bless.